Okay, Session 6 recap. So our party woke up from a much-needed nap after the events of the night before. Although they did come out of the fight without a scratch, it was some of our party's first combat. The went by without anything major happening. Sabryn and Benjamin both stayed on watch all night, as neither of them do need sleep. Sabryn spent most of the time reading one of her books she got from the Moona Library, and Ben spent the time playing with his new lantern he was given. Other than the same house that is running on chicken legs back and forth all night long in the plains of Onath, nothing else really happened. The house was lit up pretty good, and you could see smoke coming out of the chimney. The only other thing that happened differently during the night is it did seem to slow down when it came near you guys, just so it didn't wake you up. After a hasty breakfast made by Francisco that was pretty much burnt for most of the group, they hitched their wagons and headed north towards New Hope. Along the way, they did see the same house patrolling on occasion, but nothing really happened except for they did see Puck hanging outside one of the windows, but it didn't look like he's seen them. It did take a good part of the rest of the day to finally get to your destination. Using the map that you were given, you did come to the house owned by one D'Artagnan and his family. He is Annabelle's brother and a member of the Nometeers. Upon entering his house, they find a large but old shaggy dog that greets them. And of course our bard apparently doesn't like dogs and decided to scare the poor old thing. To which our Sabryn ran to comfort. After a few minutes, a male gnome comes in and greeted everybody. Sighed a little, looked at the oddly matched party, and looked up at Francisco and said, "Well, I got word from my sister that she had her babies, which apparently I'm assuming makes you the father. So congrats, and we will deal with that later, but dinner's on, and I'll let you introduce you to the family." The party then moved into the dining room, where a bunch of introductions were made. He had 3 kids, one about 3 years old, and twin girls about 1 year old. As everyone was being introduced to his wife, Sabryn kind of was a little unsettled, as across the room from her was her sister. And apparently the kids were, in fact, her 3 nieces. Dinner was, you can say, a little strained from there. There was a lot of tension in the air, but they did make it through, and D'Artagnan did take them next door to their new house that they have been given. That was also when a few strange things, but fun things, happened for our party. They were informed that the house that they are about to be given is around 2,000 years old. It's haunted and magical. It also has a room that has been sealed off by magic that they just need to forget is there, because many who have tried to open it have ended up dead. It's magically sealed by something powerful, and it's best just to leave it alone. Our party didn't want to do that. They immediately went to the room and tried to figure out what the hell it was. Our bard and 2 sorcerers tried to look at it. They couldn't really tell exactly what it is, but they did kind of figure out that there's a warning inscribed on the door that states only those deemed worthy to enter will be granted access, and everyone else will be slaughtered on sight. The house was indeed quite magical. From the outside, it looked pretty old, and nothing special inside. Sorry, nothing special on the outside, but on the inside was quite different. It was very lavish. The house they were given was once home to a family of mages, and the whole house is magical. It's even got its own cleaning service in the form of a broom and dustpan constantly going around sweeping, and randomly they see water splashed on the floor that gets scrubbed up. All the water in the basins are clear, fresh, and fills automatically when it has been emptied. They have somewhat struck gold with this house. After D'Artagnan attunes them to the house, they basically have their own magical lock in the form of their palm print on the main door. So it'll recognize who is allowed in and who's not allowed in. About a half hour later, D'Artagnan leaves the party. Both Francisco and Sabryn decide to try and sneak out of the house at the same time to have a one-on-one with D'Artagnan. Francisco got there first and basically gave D'Artagnan a heads up of what is to happen. Somewhat shorter version. And Sabryn basically just wanted to try and sneak peeks on her sister and nieces. But they were already in bed. Night came and went pretty fast for those that need sleep. The other three pretty much just kept to themselves and wandered, powered down, or just read a book. But it was Benjamin, while roaming around with his new lantern, that he noticed a faint outline around one of the brooms. And as he focused in with his magic, all the outlines became more and more defined. Apparently, he could see a ghostly figure doing all the sweeping. Went around to all the other magical items and found out that there's about 6 of them still cleaning the house. Ben spent the rest of the night trying to figure out what this was, but it wasn't until everyone woke up and met in the living room that it was Carter who decided to start talking to one of them. It only responded in Elvish, and it actually listened to her when she told it to leave the room. So apparently their new cleaning service are ghosts. But they will put that aside for later, because in the morning they also had to pack up and leave their new house on their way to the mayor's house. And that is where we are going to pick up. So, as you guys are having your morning stroll in your carts that you've gotten, I want to know what each of your thoughts are on the events leading up till now, and what do you think the future unfolds for the planet?
Sorry, did you say what the future for the plan is?
For the planet. What do you think is going to happen when the Feywild comes through in 10-ish days? Basically, I'm wondering what you're thinking about as you have a 2-day travel to go to the mayor's house.
Well, Francisco's thoughts are really more along the lines of he needs to get out of this brace.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get Annabelle and his kids out, because his only thought is shit's about to hit the fan. So, yeah, he pretty much that's it. He wants to get them as far away as he can.
Tooth is like the news of what's going to happen has blown his mind really, and he's very bothered by it, and he's thinking about he's really starting to feel a little claustrophobic about being in the city, and he's just thinking about the nature, and he's really worried for who's going to be looking out for the existing nature and creatures here if stuff were to collide. And he's starting to get he's with the party, but he's starting to get a little antsy that he doesn't want to waste time with people so much as the woods.
Gotcha.
I think Sabryn is pretty caught up right now in memories of the past after seeing her sister.
Mm-hmm.
As for the future of the planet, honestly, she's a little naive about it. She's kind of still on this, like, I'm sure it's not as bad as Puck says it'll be, Like, I'm sure most of the creatures are fine. Look how nice that displacer beast was. Like, I'm sure it'll actually be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But also, she does definitely want to get her family out of there before it happens, just in case. Because they are farmers, so they are going to have to stay there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But so she is concerned about that, but she's sure it's not as bad as Puck is saying.
Would Sabryn be... What do you think Sabryn would feel if she ran into her parents and they recognized her immediately?
I think she'd feel guilty, but I do think she'd feel better about seeing them than she would if her sister had recognized her. Because of how events worked out.
Yeah.
I think she'd be glad to see them, but also still cautious, because she still doesn't know what's happening to her.
Yeah.
And so far it's been okay, like the random magic that's been going on.
Yeah.
But who knows what would happen? So,
Gotcha.
She'd be happy about it, but she'd definitely feel guilty and probably try and make it like a quick reunion. Sorry, I faked my death. Everything's fine. Get out of town.
You didn't really fake your death. You did die. You just didn't tell him you're alive again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine, right?
True. Okay. How about our other two?
Oh gosh.
What's on a robot's mind?
The robot would be having a mechanical meltdown, trying to comprehend like all the different situations, what could happen, what happens if this happens, and just as he tries to work out the probability of it all, just just blown away by everything that could happen and trying to predict what will happen.
And the fact that you can potentially see ley lines now.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
And you have two of them with you.
But just making every calculation that bit harder.
Mm-hmm. How about Ben? Ben can now see ghosts.
Yeah, I think Ben is just very overwhelmed. He's doing his best to support the party, but like in the time that he's been like alive, he's just been in the school. He's not used to thinking this big, or, like trying to consider the scale of the planet. So he's very overwhelmed, kind of on a just he's not really sure what to think of this. He's doing his best to just support the people around him, but he doesn't really know what to think of the whole situation or how to deal with it. It's a lot of new things for him, a lot of new experiences that he doesn't quite know how to handle.
Okay. And what's everybody looking forward to the most? If anything.
Spooky door? Come on.
True.
Does Sabryn think any of them are worthy? Maybe. But she at least wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be so rich. Absolutely swimming in gold.
Okay.
Tooth has that weird kind of like excitement that like a prepper would have when he finds out that the world is ending, you know, like he just feels weirdly outfitted for this moment, kind of socially and you know, just he feels that it's like there's a lot of dread about what's happening, but like, whoa, like things are gonna go feral, things are gonna go crazy. I'm used to that.
True. But is he looking forward to it?
I think he's looking forward to. He's looking forward for moments and opportunities to like show off skills and proficiencies that he has.
Okay.
He's looking forward to being perceived as useful, but there's not a lot of tasks or there's not a lot of tasks that he's looking forward to right now. He just kind of feels impatient and worried.
Is Talos looking forward to anything?
Oh, sorry, one second.
Yep. Curious as what a robot would be looking forward to.
Answers. What the hell is happening? What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Finally, answers is what I'm looking forward to.
Are you looking more forward to how it happens or why?
You would be interested in the why.
Okay.
But probably mostly the how.
Gotcha.
And if the why becomes interesting, then the why.
Okay. Just main questions I've been wanting to ask for a while, and while you have 2 days of travel, perfect time. So if you go to roll 20, I'm going to map out where you currently are and where you've gone, just so you have a general idea, because my map is kind of a little strange in this area. So if everyone's there, so if you see my ping up at Port Mead, that is where you guys came in. So you literally, the forest you came in originally, this is where you came in through the tree and then walked to Port Mead, and then you guys came back. This trail here is where you pulled off to get away from the main hub. Everyone else, most of the merchant train came down this way. You guys came down here, and you were attacked right about there. So after you were attacked, you guys did a lovely little jaunt, and your house is right about here. So the 2 days of travel, you're going to go after your 2 days. So the museum, if you guys want to hit it up, is around here. And eventually you're going to be ending up at the mayor's house around here. So just to give you a good quick heads up of where you are. So everything in this whole area here, from where the museum is to where you guys are, that's pretty much the very first area that was built. And then they started building the rest from up here to here, and then they did the chapel. So you guys are in the older town, which is why it does take a while to get places, because this thing is long. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick area where you are, and Sabryn, you would remember, I think we have your parents there. Right in the plains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we, I believe, originally had you. Okay. And yeah, I think that's going to cover most of that. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to know about that area?
No, remind me, the museum was supposed to be stuff from back when the first portal opened, is that right?
It is pretty much old stuff, yes. So stuff that was used to help build this town, and just odds and sods that have been found in this general vicinity over the last, 2,500 years.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. It's basically a good way to look at your past and things that happened if you wanted to stop along the way. So yeah, is there anything you guys want to discuss among yourselves while you are traveling? Sabryn, I would assume, would be telling you individual places around here, because it hasn't really changed anything since you were young around here. The only other things you would probably know and maybe tell them is right before, in and around where you get to the museum, there is small, one of the very first chapels that were built when they first were trying to figure out where they are in all the planets and all whatnot, and basically small individual churches just along the way. One for each planet and one for the twin suns.
Yeah, I think I would mention that and see if anyone wants to stop at one of them. Because it's not something we've really discussed, but...
No.
At some point when we've stopped or something and we're all gathered up for, like, lunch or something, does anyone want to go to the chapels? Is anyone into that sort of thing?
Tooth kind of shrugs.
I look over at Carter.
Carter. That's a good question. I don't think I have her as a religious type, do I? Let me bring up her character sheet. I'm pretty sure she's not. No. She would probably look at you and go, I would be happy to go in with you. It's not something I really... It's not my forte, religion, but I have lots of religious people in the family, so it's something I know about, yes, but it's not something it's not my day-to-day. But
No, if
I don't mind
else
stopping. I can see your tattoo, so I know I have a feeling where I know you want to go. But yeah,
I don't mind
free.
skipping it, but I would like to go to the museum at least. I think that might be useful. Maybe there's something there that can help us now, something they did then. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Do we have time for that?
From where you are, you left early. So I believe I told you by like 2:00 in the afternoon you should hit the museum, and by the next morning you'd hit the mayor's. That is if you stopped and like overnight, which I'm assuming you will. But you would be like by now, after a couple hours, you'd only have like maybe 4 hours to go before you hit the museum. So you would, if you want to rest the horses, you'd be able to go into one of the chapels if you wanted.
I might pop in while the horses are resting. I don't have to sleep or anything, so we're in the area.
Okay.
Yeah, now, these are chapels for, like you said, the Twin Suns for Daenerys and each one.
Yeah,
any of the planets. Yeah.
Yeah, any of the planets.
Yeah.
They're basically the pantheon here, and there would be a small church dedicated to each, where people can go in and pray. It's not. Most people rather go to the chapel because it is massive. But some people, because this is a highly sought after vacation spot, do come here, but not mainly for these.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we're already stopped, I will try to sneak into one.
Okay. SETI, I believe, for you? Was it?
Trying. No, it was not SETI.
Okay.
It was Axiom.
Axiom. Who am I thinking of? Okay. So who wants to go first? Because I know or are you going to go with him first before you go to Drax?
No, I'd probably just go to Drax.
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much time, so if we're both, or...
That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Alright, so Francisco. As you walk in, this place isn't... It's old, so this is like wood, dirt floors. It's kept up just like the rest of the place, but this is... You'd be able to fit maybe 60 to 70 people in here max. So it is a very small. Some of them are bigger, some are smaller. The chapel off to the side of Lunara would be the biggest because most people did worship the planet that saved them. Axiom itself you're basically going to have, as soon as you go in, you're going to have a large statue of just basically like an open hand with a bit of gold inside. It is real gold. It's quite high, but the hand itself is going to be made... kind of looks like plaster, but as you get closer, it's a little bit of marble and a little bit of stone. There's nothing major else depicting the planet. This is just more of an offering for anyone who wants to come in. There will be a small altar. It's a nice, easy, simple, nothing fancy church. But you can tell it is well looked after. And as you go in, just a small little halfling will walk up to you. Hi. We don't get many, I think I've only met a couple Drow in my life. I'm Jonathan. Pleasure. Anything I can do for you today?
No. Just figure out to make a little offering and be on my way.
Well, that's quite generous. We don't get too many offerings around here, these parts. Most go up north. Anything specific I can help you with or you're looking for?
No, well, I'm gonna reach into my little coin pouch and I'm gonna grab a small handful of gold. So we're gonna say 10 gold, and I'm gonna ask him about the Drow he met.
Okay.
How far is the Drow settlement? That sort of deal.
It's strange. They usually come in pairs, always at night. I haven't seen them, 20 years. I know I've heard of people around here that say they're close, but they've never seen more than 2. They're quiet type. I haven't really got much out of them. But they come. They don't say much, but they always come every 15, 20 years, and every now and then we'll get not many youngsters. Most are old, and always male.
Okay.
That's the only really old. You're the youngest I think I've seen ever.
Well, I'm not exactly a real Drow, I guess. But yeah, Francisco will walk over to the statue with the hand, with his hand out, and he'll put his 10 gold in there, adding to the pile.
As you reach out, the hand grabs your wrist and pulls you in close. And you just feel a certain kinship. It's almost like you felt that hand before. You don't know from where, but the handshake's familiar. And then it lets go and it just looks like it hasn't moved.
Yeah, he'll thank the priest for his time and be on his way.
Cool. Sabryn, when you walk into Drax, it's a very dark temple. This one's probably twice the size as the one for Axiom. This one looks like it's made out of like dark cherry wood and kind of looks like it's been burnt a few times. You'll see charred wood that's been repaired to the point where it might leak when it rains. As you go in, you see as soon as you walk in, it's very dark. Carpeted, though. It is well kept on the inside, but it is basically one big open area. No one greets you there. As you go in, you don't really see anybody. Stained glass windows on both sides. Chairs instead of church pews. They are cushioned. You will see probably maybe a half dozen candles that are lit. They seem to light the whole place up, even though there's only a few of them. The only thing you're going to notice as you walk up towards the altar, it's just got a black chalice made out of pure obsidian on the front, on the actual altar. And above it, and it's moving, is pretty much it looks like, not that you've seen the planet, but it looks like someone's projecting the image of the planet on top of the chalice. And it's spinning. Slowly. Doesn't look like actual magic. It looks like someone's projecting that image.
I would say I've been here before.
Probably.
Right? At least once.
Probably.
Does this pretty much look like how I remember it?
Nope.
Oh, excellent. Okay, cool.
Chalice has been there, but this is new.
The picture?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go look at it. See what's going on with it.
Okay.
Is there any sort of ritual or something that I would know of? Like, am I supposed to like leave an offering or?
Nope. This is yeah. It looks to be the chairs are like in a circle, almost like it's like an AA meeting almost.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the feel you get in here. It's just more for people who need to talk about something no one else will talk to them about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go over and look at the image.
Okay. As you stare into it, nothing really happens for a while. And then after a while, you get drawn into the image that's spinning. And everything else just kind of goes away. And you feel like you're there. Just floating outside the planet. Kind of looks like Lunara in the topography. Little different. Not blue. Darker. Lots of volcanic activity. Looks still prehistoric phase. As if not really trying to make the planet livable. And it's got a different smell than everything else. More sulfur. And then you're back.
Okay. Did that feel like something in the past or an omen for the future?
More like the present. As if you were there now, that's what you would see.
But it was Lunara?
No, the actual planet Drax.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. And as you slowly walk away, you hear a small voice in your head. Your tattoo is unfinished. Would you like it to be complete?
Thank you?
I think that was a yes or no question.
Yes?
Okay,
Please?
you're going to
Scary voice?
You're going to feel a slight burning on your arm. And where your semi-good chalice tattoo is a replica of the planet now spinning. And it is moving on your arm.
Oh, Francisco's gonna be so jealous. Thank you.
You get no response.
Okay. I am going to. Sorry, let me look at something really quick. Blah, 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 blah. La, 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 la. Okay. I am gonna take like a silver out of my pocket.
Okay.
And my ink pen, and I'm just gonna try and draw on it an image of the planet and leave that behind.
Okay.
It's probably not great, but I do it anyways.
Okay.
And then I go skip out and try and show Francisco my new tattoo.
It looks like it's healed completely.
Look, Sketchy Voice says you want a tattoo. I'm kind of gonna say yes and like not ask questions about it.
Yeah. Anyone else want to do anything?
Yeah, while they're doing that, the tooth will get drawn to Saris, and we'll go into that temple.
Okay. I assume both of you? Okay. What did I have for Saris? Okay. As you go in, this place is more like a mini forest inside, almost like a garden. From the outside, looks just like a normal church, but on the inside, it's pretty much just like you'll have a big tree in the middle. It'll be a willow tree, a couple fountains, lots of birds. It's going to be more of a place for people to come in and just R&R. If you need to get away from home, great place to go. It is
Yes.
looks bigger on the inside, I'll say, than the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly deep. Completely different smell. Smells exactly like a forest.
Are there other people in there right now, or it just seems like it's...
You'll see a couple walking, but no one that's going to come up and bother you.
Does it seem to... Is it super decentralized, or is there something of note that I would see?
Nothing too major. The main feature seems to be the tree.
Yeah, Tooth will get drawn right to that tree and just kind of walk up and look at it from underneath.
Okay. You're going to touch it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Touching the bark.
Both of you will. It says you both reach out. You're going to see almost like another, pretty much the same tree, but bigger. Much bigger. Something that's going to take up probably... The canopy itself would cover 3 or 4 square blocks. And it looks like it's dying. It needs help.
And when I look around, am I otherwise in the same place? Am I somewhere completely different?
Somewhere completely different. Smells completely different. Sounds completely different. You're just going to get a feeling of it needs help.
Yeah, Tooth will just look around all panicked and just look and say, how do I help you? What do I do?
Give me a perception check.
is a 12.
Okay. Roll me one for your scout. Just
Mhm.
using your stuff. Or what's your passive perception too? Tell me that after you roll.
My passive perception is 13.
Okay. Just roll me one more perception.
Roll one more.
Yeah.
Next one is a 20. Dirty 20.
Perfect. So you don't see it. But they're going to raise a finger for you and point in a direction behind you. And you're going to see basically a very large lake. And the lake is slowly draining, and then quickly draining, and then gone. And then everything underneath the lake is just slowly being sucked into something. And you see that it looks like within the next couple hours, the tree's going to be gone.
And does it look like a sinkhole or something that I can see?
Too dark to tell. But you will see other people, well, for you, creatures, running towards this big tree. And reach out and touch it just like you are. And you're going to see the tree bend over and hand a bunch of seeds to these people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to run. And then
Do I get any?
No, you're just seeing it.
Yeah.
And after that, you are back in the chapel.
Yeah, he comes back, panic. I'm looking around. Is there anyone else that I feel like could have seen that, or is there anyone?
You can tell this happened instantly.
Mm.
Like you could have been there for days, and here it was just instant.
Yeah, he's gonna look around, and normally would want to spend a lot of time somewhere like this, but it's just gonna kind of stagger out.
Yeah. Your scout's just gonna look at you and just shake their head and do the same. Okay. Anyone else want to do anything? I'm assuming our robot is non-particular to. I don't know. I can't remember if you're religious or not on Talos.
Talos isn't really religious, but would probably feel left out after seeing everyone else go up to a temple. Is there one to SETI?
Yep.
I think Talos would have a wander in there.
Okay.
More like acting like a tourist than a.
Okay. As you walk in, you are going to be. This place is a little different. It's very bright, very cheery, lots of people. You're going to see this place more looks like almost like a science fair for magicians. There's going to be lots of people in here practicing magic, showing magic off. Basically, just basic. Anyone who wants to talk about the weirder aspects of magic is going to be found here. Nothing really major sets this place apart, other than the fact that you can tell from listening to everybody talk that there's no bad questions here.
Yeah, probably a flashback to the library and then just leave.
Okay. You don't feel neither of your consciousness that Spock and you don't feel anything. It just seemed like a neat little spot.
Right.
Yep. But Nothing happens to you while you're in there. No. Does Benjamin want to go anywhere?
Not really. I think Ben doesn't really like churches. He kind of avoids them.
Okay.
It's not his thing.
Okay.
It's,
I could find you a
he
graveyard.
doesn't like the god. Yeah, just go find a quiet place to wait.
All right. So as you guys gather back up and hit the trail again, it'll be probably pushing noon by now. You probably have another couple hours to go before you hit the museum if you want to stop there. Did you guys want to stop to eat or just keep pushing through? Or did you guys want to talk to each other about what happened? I don't know who would.
I show Francisco my new tattoo immediately.
Yeah,
It did a thing!
That's ridiculous. I'm like, did your planet do that?
Sabryn looks like that did not cross her mind as a possibility, and it probably should have. I heard a voice, and it said, "Your tattoo's not done, do you want me to finish it?" And I said, "Okay." And then it did that. I guess it could have been the planet. That's a good point.
And Francisco,
Oh, look, it spins!
as you're looking at it, Francisco, you can tell it's got a light and dark, as if it's mirroring the actual light and dark cycle of the planet.
That's so. I wonder how it revolves like that. That's full crap. I don't have anything like that. So accident won't give me that shit.
Yeah,
But-
like you can see smoke coming from volcanoes. You see clouds.
Yeah, Francisco's beyond jealous and like just fuming with jealousy. Sabryn, you're from this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say you died?
Like 10 years ago?
Okay. And you said there's drow around these parts, right?
There were then, yeah, they were underground excavating stuff. I would assume if they were excavating stuff, it was in an attempt to build something down there. So they're probably still there. Maybe not in that exact area, but
like what, around where you grew up, or what?
no, this was farther in. This was by the original portal site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, just try to keep that area in mind. I'm sure we'll make our way over there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I happily stare at my tattoo while Francisco drives for the next, 2 hours.
Side-eyeing the
I just
tattoo.
jot down every new thing it does.
Carter's quite jealous of it too.
Yeah!
Yeah, she's trying to kick herself for not going in with you. Yeah. Okay.
During the ride, I'm gonna try to jot down as I recollect. Do I know? Can I remember what these creatures look like? I mean, I'm probably trying to do this 30 minutes later.
Yes, I do have something for that. I'll send you pictures of them eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The intention here is that I am going to try to share this drawing with the group, but it will be.
Okay, I'll do the easy way and describe them to the group. I'll generalize. Okay. So from afar, you would have seen. You're not too sure what it was. Looked humanoid, tall, big, muscular, greenish, covered in vegetation. They were the ones who mainly talked to the tree and were given the seeds. Beside him was a very, very old humanoid, covered in rags, hunched, cane, female. And something that looked like a butterfly to you, but bigger. Not too sure what it was. That's the main description you're going to get. Because you wouldn't know what a fairy is.
Yep. No, and I'm just as we're riding, I'm just looking at these illustrations that I tried to draw, and I'm just so confused.
Okay. So, anything you guys want to do before you hit the museum? Because I think Sabryn wanted to go in there. Okay. We will do that then. So, along the way, you're probably a good 20 minutes out from it. You're going to see this human female, quite young. She's going to be basically running up to everyone walking around, and it looks like she's got a stack of papers in her hands that she's trying to hand out to everyone. Does anyone want
take one?
Okay.
I take one.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Whoever grabs it.
I would definitely get one.
It is pretty much a pamphlet. So whoever grabs one, this is what it's going to say. It is a pamphlet advertising the museum. The Natural Institute of New Hope is nestled in the heart of the city and is a marvel to behold, steeped in a rich history that spans well over 2 millennia. This institution has withstood the test of time, serving as a sanctuary for the preservation of knowledge, culture, and artifacts from all your ancestors. The museum's exterior is nothing fancy, but does offer a somewhat timeless aura. The main facade is constructed from weathered sandstone, giving the museum a stately and aged appearance. A mosaic path leads visitors through the enchanting garden, filled with ancient statues and sculptures, each with its own history to tell. Each statue and sculpture depict a variety of famous explorers, builders, mayors, etc. Basically anyone famous has a statue or sculpture made of them. Basically anyone of historical significance. As you enter the museum, you will be greeted by a vast soaring atrium. The ceilings are adorned with one very large, magnificent painting of the solar system. It spans from one side of the museum to the other. The wooden and stone floors reflect the soft glow of warm torchlight, guiding guests through the vast collection of rooms and galleries. The museum is broken up into 2 sections. The Hall of Curiosities, which is a collection of oddities that have been found over the years on New Luna, most dating back to when the portal was first opened. Some claim that some of them have mundane items. Some of these mundane items possess strange magical properties. Then there is the Chamber of Arcane Mysteries. It is a dimly lit room filled with arcane tomes, magical artifacts, and runes. Basically anything of magical importance that has been found over the years that nobody has ever needed. It's been gifted to the museum, or just no one's been able to figure out what the hell it is. There are guardians and curators. The museum is diligently protected by a variety of dedicated curators, scholars, and magical guardians. They are well versed in the lore and history of the exhibits, and ensure that the artifacts remain safe from theft or harm. Lots of adventurers, scholars, and travelers from across the land make pilgrimages to the museum seeking knowledge, or to undertake quests that might lead them to the mysteries hidden within its hollowed halls. It is said that over 1 million visitors make their way here yearly to see the place of wonder. And I'm going to, as you guys get closer, I'm going to move you to a different map.
Ooh.
So, is broken up into 2 different areas. So there's a side. So basically, the Hall of Curiosities is one building, and then the next building is the Chamber of Arcane Mysteries. And as you guys walk up to the room, you are greeted by a very old dwarf. Greetings. We are unfortunately going to be closing soon due to a few maintenance issues. I just had everybody else escorted out, but you guys look like you traveled a while to get here. If you let me give you the quick tour, I could let you come in. If that's okay.
What happened?
Oh, just someone knocked over some of the... Basically a bunch of glass shattered and just one of the magical automatons went a little protective mode. We're just making sure nothing else happens while we're in here. No one got hurt. We're just replacing the glass in one of the artifacts. Nothing major.
I think a quick tour is fine. We're not going to be back this way for a little bit, right?
Yeah, there's only 70. Most of I usually get like 100 at a time, so I can deal with 7. That 6 or 7 of these, that'll be fine. Have any of you been here before? Oh, I am Arvin. I am the head curator here.
Hi.
Arvin. He's an old dwarf, just in a simple robe, nothing fancy. I'll take that as
never been. Sabryn, let's get this over with.
Okay.
All right.
I skip ahead.
I'll give you guys the quick tour just because there's a few areas we can't go. We're fine to go over to the other building. That one's still open. But let's come through here. So he's going to take you on a just nice, quick, easy tour. He's going to show you an ancient coin collection, basically a display of rare and ancient coins. They're just basically different types of coins. Some of them are going to be from before the portal, like when the portal opens. So they're going to be from Waterdeep, like different types of coins you've never seen before. As you go through, there will be a ornate scepter. It's a very nice crafted scepter, once wielded. You'll see a display. It says wielded by a long forgotten elf. And you're going to see a little picture of Kaga there. Sorry. Then you're going to see, as you go through, looks like the mummified remains of a hand. Apparently, the curator is going to tell you this is from a legendary thief. But no one remembers their name. All I remember is this hand from the thief was always mummified. Which was just weird. I don't know. Then you're going to see a giant skull. A massive skull of some sort of creature that you guys have never seen before. The curator is just going to look at you guys and go, this was caught in a net by a bunch of fishermen. Apparently it lived at the bottom of the ocean. We're not too sure what it is. But it's pretty much going to be like the massive skull of a blue whale. But with sharp teeth and big.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
As you go by, you're gonna. There's basically a massive set of horns, kind of like bull horns, and it just says unknown set of horns. And
Sabryn avoids that one.
Tooth.
I linger at that.
They look familiar to you. And your scout's angry. Very angry.
Arvin.
And
Is it?
he's just gonna, oh, yeah,
I'm Tooth.
pleasure.
Where did you get these?
Oh, these were just found in a forest in the middle of the Schwa, I believe. Oh, I think they were dated to about 1900 years ago. And Ben, I need a perception check for me.
All right.
Actually, sorry, not perception. What do I want from you? I want history from you.
Okay. Aged. Guess I can just roll it. I don't know my bonuses. Waiting for D&D Beyond to load.
That's okay. Even if you have regular dice, that would work too. Or the roll.
Yeah, I just don't remember what bonus
Oh, okay.
I had to it.
No worries.
But here, I'll roll it. It's a 19.
You
Add something to that.
You remember ripping these off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just that feeling. You remember a memory of ripping them off. And then that feeling is just, that memory is just briefly there and gone.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just one second. Type in a tooth. So that's why the anger. Not too sure if you want to do anything about it. Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
He's gonna ask Arvin though. Arvin, where is there a record of when who brings these things in? Is there a ledger?
Oh, we've had these for quite a while. Like you'll notice they're covered in dust. They're aging. They're taken care of, but they're like still like they're starting to get like holes and pits, and for their age, they still look okay. Best he's gonna tell you is he could look into it, but they're just a set of horns to him. They're just a set of horns they've never seen before because they're different size, shape, and don't match anything that would come from like a bull or anything.
Yeah. How big are these horns relative to our bodies?
Like they're a matching set to what you're looking at beside you.
No, I know
for
how
you?
like compared to my chest or something.
They'd be a good like 2.5 feet out on each end, but it's the shape that they're in. They don't look like a bullhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more like out and curved up. After that, you're pretty much going to be taking around. You're going to see a whole bunch of old stuff. You're going to see some sort of weird gnomish invention. It's got like a bizarre contraption of gears and levers. It's just going to say it was created by a renowned gnome inventor. It's basically, you'd be able to tell that it's some sort of contraption to breathe underwater with. You'll see like lots of paintings, stone tablets. And if you give me a perception check, Mr. Francisco.
Let me unmute myself. Perception.
Yeah.
12.
Even with 12, yeah, it's pretty easy if you're looking at it. You're going to see it says it's an enchanted sword scabbard. Sword's not there, but the scabbard looks like a match to the one you currently have. Almost identical.
Arvin,
Hmm?
tell me. So, do you ever, I don't know, sell any of the items here?
No, we're a museum.
Yeah, but
We collect. Most of these are like found or donated. You're looking at the scabbard. We've had that for 2,600 years, I believe, and it was gifted.
Okay. Well,
Actually, it was
it's
gifted
missing.
by one of your kind.
Wait. Really?
Yeah.
So
I cleaned this myself. The notes down. I didn't get a name. Just someone came in and said it was old. We could tell it's a different type of leather that we've never seen before, and just handed it to us because he said he lost the other half.
well,
Old, white hair, but yeah, full blood drow.
what if I don't know. What if, let's say, I maybe knew where the other half was?
The sword itself,
Yeah.
well, empty scabbard's kind of useless without a sword, isn't it?
Yeah, but a sword should have its proper scabbard.
Well, if you find the sword and bring it here, I'll give you the scabbard. I want to see the sword.
All right. Well, shit. That's it. All right.
It's just a scabbard to him.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Francisco's going to go. Okay. Real quick. Your automatons, do they attack if someone pulls a knife?
They're kind of on high alert right now, so probably not. Depends on what you have planned.
Francisco's going to draw the sword. Say, I think this will fit.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
Yes. See what's my persuasion. 15.
Only if you let me do it. This is old. Has to be handled delicately.
Very well. As long as I get my sword back, you can do it.
Yeah, what would I need a sword with?
I'm going to insight check that.
Sure.
$11. 14.
Seems like it's telling the truth, because he is.
Yeah. All right. Well, either way, Francisco's hand's going to go into his vest and just slightly grab his hand crossbow, not drawing it, but just in case. And he's going to wait for him to put the sword in.
Okay. You're going to see it as he puts it in. The sheath is going to almost like it's going to protest. He's having an issue getting it in. He keeps...
I thought I was muted. My bad.
It's okay. He's going to line it up, and it looks like this one's a little bigger.
I can't.
So he's gonna hold open. He's gonna ask you for your scabbard.
Yeah, I'll hand him my scabbard.
He's gonna put your sword back in and just look and go, you have the correct scabbard for this sword. They are oddly identical. The sheaths. Just this one's like 6 inches bigger and a little wider.
Not the right fit.
As if you have the offhand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was a guess, but that works. Take my sword back and put it back.
He's
To its loop.
just gonna look at you and go, your best bet is to look to your own histories. Find who had it. Bring it here. I'll give you the scabbard.
No problem.
While this is going on, what do I know offhand, having worked on buildings? What does two think he knows offhand about building security in a building like this? What's going on with automatons? What else might be going on?
You're gonna see because this side is closed for a little bit of maintenance. It's a little more heavy right now, just because they want to make sure nothing was damaged. They're basically securing off the area, so there is quite a lot in here. Yeah,
Like a lot of automatons actively moving around.
more like human, elven, and dwarven than the automatons. The automatons are more on the magical side.
Mm.
You'll have a couple here because there are like a couple like non-useful magical items here, but not as many as if you go to the other place. Yeah, did you guys want to go near where they're cleaning, or did you want?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Arvin what got knocked over.
Oh,
I want to go peek.
some sort of cylinder. Something old, weird. We haven't been able to figure out what it is.
I want to ask where it was.
Yeah, in the back of your head, you're getting a knock saying, I feel something weird over there. Spock's telling you to go look.
Can I try and sneak away?
Yep. Or you could just, if you want to try, by all means. If you want to make it look like you're just walking around, because you pretty much are. You really wouldn't be a 6. I have.
That seems about right.
Yeah. I rolled a natural 18 for the curator. He's just gonna look at you and go, are you... I don't find myself conversing with an actual automaton that often. Usually they just... Anyway, are you looking for anything specific? I don't get many of yours that are just freely walking around that aren't useful. Or protecting.
The cylinder you described, I've seen one similar in the... I forgot what it's called, but I'm going to
The Moon
say
Library.
the library, yeah.
Really? I know they have a bunch of old stuff up there, but sure, maybe you'll be able to figure it out. We've had it for a while. I think it's dated like 3,200 years ago. Some weird brass. We've never been able to identify it because it's just got some weird numeric system on it we haven't been able to figure out. So as he takes you over there, you're going to see a bunch of, like, this thing came out of a like a big glass case. It looks like either some sort of statue got knocked over and into it. Kind of hard to tell exactly what happened, but there's like 20 to 30 artifacts that are just like on the ground that are being looked after by like a couple other younger curators, and just basically the whole scene is just blockaded off. And as you get closer, just like before, this cylinder just shoots out from the ground and into your arm. And you're going to have a lot of people looking at you.
I was just sort of stand still, like, I knew it was going to happen, but I want to act surprised.
Yeah. It's, yeah, literally, you're going to see your arm open up. Different spot. Maybe 2 inches lower than the last one. Doesn't look like you have anything there that should open up, but it does open up. And this thing gets inserted into you, and you're going to hear Spock just go, I need some time with this one. You might want to stall these guys for a second.
I know you said earlier about not buying things, but I don't know how to get that out, so I feel I should be compensating you.
Arvin's just going to run up to you and go, okay, is this what happened the last time you seen something like this?
Pretty much. It was less active. It required me actually touching it before it rolled up the arm.
I'm curious. We have a bigger one next door. I'm going to be right back. Don't touch anything. Don't move. He's going to look at the guards and go, I'm going to go get the other one. This is weird. And I'm into weird right now. So stay right here. If you guys have time, maybe help clean up some of the glass. I'll be right back. So he's going to be gone maybe 10 minutes. And then he's going to come back with a tube that looks like it's about the size of your arm. And you can tell he's having a hard time holding on to it. And you're going to have Spock just ask if he can borrow you for a sec.
I'll temporarily give Spock control.
Okay. The rest of you are going to see Talos just kind of go limp for a sec and then liven up. Eyes a completely different color. Oh, hi everyone. Talos is busy for a second. I'm gonna need to take a look at that, please. No harm will come to you.
So Talos is haunted.
Arvin, was it? Pleasure. You can... I'm Talos's helper. Can I see that, please? Arvin's just... He's visibly shaking that a robot just switched off and on him. He's just gonna... He doesn't really know what to do, so he's just gonna hand it to this robot. The rest of the robots you can actually see are circling you guys. Same with the rest of the guards. They're not really saying anything. They're kind of a little intrigued too. You're going to see... You haven't met Spock. But he's going to hold this up, and the whole thing's going to just start to spin really, really quickly. And above it, you're going to just see a whole bunch of, to you guys, just a bunch of random numbers and like runic letters and whatnot. And you're going to see Spock just type in a few things and look at it and look at it and look at it and I really hate to do this, but I'm going to need to take this. Is that okay, Arvin? And before Arvin can even reply, you're going to see Talos' chest open up to where Ben had originally been hiding for 2 weeks. And it's just going to fit in there perfectly and snap in. As if it was built to house this item. And Arvin's just going to look at it and look back up at Talos and look at the item and go, well, I think it's found its home. It's done really nothing for us, and consider it a gift. Oh, I think that sounds weird. I've never given anything away before from here. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. Can you guys leave?
That's probably fair.
And with that, Talos, you're going to get control back. And eventually, when you level up, you can get from the first scroll, you can choose 2 level 2 spells and 3 level 1 spells. From the big one, we will discuss that later.
Writing that down, writing that down.
Yeah, so 3 level 1 spells, 2 level 2 spells when you level up next. This is just my way of not having you have to look for scrolls.
Sabryn skips out, and someone, whoever's closest, definitely just hears, "See, I told you this would be useful," as she skips out of the building.
Okay. Carter didn't give a shit. She stayed with the horses and the carts.
Francisco rolled his eyes.
She took us to a museum with Francisco and didn't go in to make sure he didn't steal something. Oh my god. We're growing on her.
Or she's just getting tired.
Oh, yeah. Right. People sleep. That's a thing.
She's also, you'll see, she's got pen and paper, and she's trying to come up with what to tell the mayor. Kind of in the back of her mind, that's the most important part right now. But from there, we will go for break, and then we are going to fast travel to the mayor's house.
Yep.
Cool. Only thing